I'm Jessica Kemp with Weichert Realtors First Tier, and I am the 2022 CBOR Forums Committee Chair.
I am Jamie Thornsberry with Remax Spoon Realty, and I am your President-elect for 2022. So today we're going to help explain the escalation clause and appraisal gap form for everyone.
So we created the escalation clause form so buyers have the ability to make an offer and then escalate that offer above and beyond other multiple offers. Agents can use this as an attachment to their contract when they feel that it is needed. On the escalation clause, we have several different blanks on the form, but lines 2 through 5 are your basic contract information from your contract. Line 11 is your escalating factor. So this is how much your offer will escalate each time over the other offer. And then line 13 is the cap. So this is the buyer's maximum purchase price that they're willing to pay for the property. So for example, if a seller receives two offers, offer A and offer B, both are for $200,000 as the original purchase price on page 1 of the contract. One has an escalating factor of 1,000 and caps at $220, and the offer B has an escalating factor of 500 and caps to $218. Seller in this scenario 1, seller would like to choose offer A. So in this case, you would fill out the worksheet. The purchase price of the competing offer, so line 39, would be $218,000 because they're going to escalate each other up all the way. So they'll kind of go back and forth and escalate to that cap of the other offer. So $218,000 in line 39. Line 42 would be any credits that are in the competing offer. So seller concessions, basically. A home warranty would also be included in that line. In this scenario, there are none of those, so that would be 0. So competing offer net purchase price is line 44, which would again be $218,000. Now we're adding on the escalation amount. So the escalating factor of this offer is 1,000. So $218,000 plus 1,000. And then you can subtract any credits to the buyer for this offer. There were none for this specific scenario. So that would be 0. So your new purchase price on line 47 is $219,000. Scenario 2, seller receives both offers A and B above. In scenario 2, seller would like to choose offer B. So that could be because there are other terms that are better, maybe no contingencies or no appraisal or financing, something like that. So seller has chosen offer B in this scenario. You actually have two different options on how to do this. You can either fill in the worksheet and use the cap from offer A as your purchase price of competing offer. And then your new purchase price would just be the cap on this form, line 13, $218,000. Or you can counter offer at the cap price at the $218,000 and remove your escalation clause altogether.
And that makes a good point, what Jessica says about the counteroffer, because you either do need to sign the escalation clause if it's part of the contract or remove it with an addendum or a counteroffer. So that's a good reminder to know.
In scenario 3, we have 3 offers, A, B, and C, and seller would like to go with offer C. With offer A being the same cap, so they're both capping at $220,000, they each escalate each other up to the cap. And you would use the worksheet to show that with a new purchase price at $220,000. So in this example, your purchase price of the competing offer is going to still be $220,000. You can X through or fill out the lines on 42 through 46, and your new purchase price will be $220,000. Just remember that you're really looking at that cap as the bottom line, the bottom number. So if they're going to always escalate each other up to that final cap if they go that high. So So best practice, if you are receive an offer and you're not going to use the escalation clause and you're just going to accept the terms as is to cross through the worksheet lines 39 through 46 and then rewrite the purchase price from page 1 of your contract on line 47. Fill that in and then have the seller sign. And in addition, have them sign page 8 of the contract and your contract will be finalized. What is sufficient documentation? So when you are enacting the escalation clause for one offer, you need to provide proof of the competing offer. Best practice would be to provide the other offer that is competing, black out the buyer's names, and also redact the buyer's agent information, and send that full offer with any attached writers so they have proof of that competing offer. Another important reminder is to make sure you check with your lender to make sure your buyer qualifies for that maximum purchase price or that cap. The buyer should always be able to go up to that cap because there is the chance that their cap could be accelerated with the offer they've presented. A final reminder is that you do not need to have a counteroffer or an amendment for that price. If there is a new purchase price entered on the escalation clause and everybody has signed and acknowledged that new purchase price, then you are under contract at that new purchase price.
Okay, now we'll dive into the addendum to the appraisal contingency, which some people also know as the appraisal gap form. The appraisal addendum is used when you want to have an appraisal contingency that is different than the purchase price. So your appraised value could actually be lower than your purchase price. So you have two different options on this form as far as how you want to accept it. Section A refers to an actual appraised value you will accept under the sales price. And B refers to a dollar amount you will pay over the appraised value if it appraises under the purchase price. So we can look at some examples. So let's say your sales price is $200,000 and the buyer has marked box A and filled in $195,000 as the minimum appraised value. If the house appraised for $197,000, the contingency would be resolved and the buyer would pay $3,000 difference in cash. The other option in example A would be if the sales price was $200,000 and the buyer has marked box A and filled in $195,000, but the house appraises for $193,000, the contingency is not resolved because the buyer only agreed to buy if appraised at $195,000. The parties will use the appraisal notice, MSC 2020N, to try and resolve this contingency. Here's an example for box B. Let's say your sales price is $200,000 and the buyer has marked box B and filled in $5,000. If the house appraises for $197,000, the contingency is resolved and the buyer will pay the $3,000 difference. Again, if the price is $200,000 and the buyer's marked box B and filled in $5,000 and the house appraises for $193,000, the contingency is not resolved because the $5,000 only gets them to $198,000. Again, the contingency is not resolved, so you will use MSC 2020N to try and resolve the contingency. As a reminder, just always consult your broker if you ever have any questions on forms.
Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and we hope this video and the forms provided will help you get through this crazy market.